This is Jim Mitchell with Mitchell Financial Services. We're going to talk about some exciting ideas that you can talk to your financial advisor about and help you to get better returns and better safety and better protection on your investments than you might have ever managed. Okay? Now, many of you probably heard the term life insurance before. If you haven't, obviously, I would be quite surprised. Most people understand the difference between term and permanent insurance, some basics. But basically what we're going to talk about today is we're going to compare putting money into a life insurance plan overfunded under the current laws, and we're going to talk about putting money into a mutual fund in the current situation, and we're going to talk about putting money into a 401k plan that is not matched. Now keep in mind, this is a key. Anytime you get if your employer has a 401k plan and they have a match, you want to match it for everything you can up to what they'll do. But this is just a 401k plan that has no match. It's just like setting kind of an IRA up. Okay? So let's talk about this. The basic information we're going to do is for comparison purposes, we're going to use 7.9% interest. Okay? Now that may seem a little high, but that's actually how these overfunded insurance accounts have done the last 6 to 8 years. Okay? That's the worst returns on investments in the last 20 years has been this last 8 years. So we've seen some pretty good returns. So we're comparing it as to how it might do. There's no guarantees, as you know. All of those things are vitally important to keep in mind. Okay? Number one, we're going to talk about an amount that an individual could save, which is pretty much most households where one or both spouses, if they really, really wanted to, could find a way to save about $500 a month or about $6,000 a year. Okay? So we're going to use $6,000 a year as the number for all three investments. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to put that into a mutual fund. Okay? So now we have, in this case, we have $6,000 going into a mutual fund, earning 7.9%. We take it on a basis of an age 40. All three examples are going to be based on a male age 40. Okay? Now you take that $6,000, you put it into a mutual fund, and you let it grow over a 25-year period. So at 65, you can draw $46,000 a year, tax-free. Now, the software nowadays figures the actual tax rates out. As you know, in a mutual fund, you pay tax on the dividends, and it's calculated that all in there. And then you have capital gains when you start drawing it out. So it's estimated those capital gains and calculated that you would be able to draw $46,000 a year out for 9 years. And then your last deposit would be $2,800, and then there would be nothing there. So basically, you put in $6,000 a year into a mutual fund at 7.9% interest, and after you've drawn $46,000 a year out for a period of 9 years, you end up with zero. Okay? But you had $46,000 a year tax-free for 9 years. Next option, okay, is we're going to put into a 401k. Now, the advantage into a 401k, if you've looked at prior videos, you know that basically you're going to save taxes. So if you put $6,000 into a 401k, you're going to have $8,000 because of the $2,000 tax savings. So you're actually going to invest not $6,000, but $8,000 into a 401k. Now, you invest that $8,000 over the same years, the same 40 years, and what you'll have is $46,000 a year for 10 years. Okay, it's not quite 10 years, pretty close. The last year is $41,000. So $46,000 a year for 9 years and $41,000 for the last year. Okay? Now, why is it almost the same as a mutual fund? Well, when you put the money in, you tax deducted it, right? When you take the money out, it's all what? Taxable. Okay? The last one is using an overfunded insurance account. So over here, we're going to use insurance And yes, this does have a small amount of insurance. Now keep in mind, this is not designed to be a big insurance policy. And if you get a salesman trying to sell you a lot of insurance, all they're trying to do is make commissions at this point, okay? This is basically taking the smallest amount of insurance and putting it in and overfunding it. So we buy $106,000 of insurance, a permanent, we overfund it, we put $6,000 a year in it, and we will be able to draw $46,000 a year for 15 years versus 10 years. That's 5 years of tax-free income. That's approximately, it's 500 and we draw out 690, so it's going to be close to $300,000 in extra income. Now, that's a key. 5 more years at $46,000. All we did is put it into an insurance policy and say, why aren't more people doing this? Well, the reason is most agents don't sell this because there's a lot of commission in life insurance, but when you overfund the account, the commission isn't as great. So, sorry to say that bottom line is you need to talk to your advisors about using overfunded life insurance. All the assets are protected in the insurance account. If you are sued and have claims of creditors, you can always ask them the question, how does OJ get by? Well, everybody's heard of O.J. Simpson. But the NFL does these for all their NFL players after the first couple of years if they make it in the NFL. Why? Because all the money held in an insurance account is totally protected from claims of creditors. I'm sure you'll have questions. You can email us at our email address, which is listed on our information sheet. So bottom line is, again, think about talking to your advisor about ways to protect your money. Put it into an overfunded account. Don't let them sell you a whole bunch of insurance. Get a small amount of insurance and have a great fund. In fact, you can buy these accounts from some companies. There's no surrender penalties. 100% of your money is available from day one. Not a bad deal. Okay? Have a good day. We'll talk to you later in the next video.